Inauguration Day, why US presidents are sworn in on January 20th. A long tradition. Like a lot of his predecessors, Donald Trump will take the oath of office on a January 20th in Washington, D.C. It's the tradition known as Inauguration Day. But when, how, and why was this specific date chosen? Until 1933 it was held on March 4. Until 1933, Inauguration Day was held on March 4, with the exception of George Washington's first inauguration, which took place on April 30, 1789. A date linked to the Constitution. The choice of March 4 was to reflect the day in 1789 when the federal government officially began operations under the United States Constitution. Too long a delay. However, they came to realize that the time between the November election and the president's inauguration in March was too long. They found faster ways to count votes. A Library of Congress article points out that, thanks to advances in communications and transportation, election officials no longer needed such a long period of time to tabulate and certify election results. The lame duck period. Furthermore, it was necessary to reduce the period of lame duck, a term used to describe an outgoing president who loses his influence and is perceived as weakened. How January 20th was chosen. So in 1933, the 20th Amendment was ratified to set the new date for the presidential inauguration to January 20th, allowing for a quicker and more efficient transition between administrations. The first president to be sworn in on January 20. Franklin D. Roosevelt was the first president to be sworn in on January 20th, during his second inauguration in 1937, pictured. An optimal deadline for the presidential transition. The date allows time to count electoral votes and resolve any disputes, while also giving the outgoing president the opportunity to settle the remaining business of his term. More favorable weather conditions than in December. Additionally, the date avoids severe winter conditions for a ceremony often held outdoors in Washington, while still being close enough to the election. Exceptions. If January 20th falls on a Sunday, the president-elect is still sworn in that day at the White House and officially begins his term, while public celebrations are postponed until the following day, Monday, January 21st. January 21. Said situation has occurred 3 times, in 1957, Dwight D. Eisenhower, in 1985, Ronald Reagan, and in 2013, Barack Obama. On the steps of the Capitol. The swearing-in ceremony, traditionally held on the steps of the Capitol, is attended by members of Congress, Supreme Court justices, former presidents, and many guests and spectators. The Vice President is also sworn in during the ceremony. 20th Amendment. As the U.S. Constitution states, the term of each elected President of the United States begins at noon on January 20th of the next year, following the election. Thanks for watching.